Extrasensory perception, or ESP, is a concept ingrained in human culture. Countless individuals have come forward over time claiming the ability to hear, see, or feel that exists beyond the perception of ordinary senses. The notion of a sixth sense is commonly dismissed as pure science fiction, but modern research in cognition may change the way we view some psychic phenomena. Perhaps what we've always thought of as a sixth sense isn't an extra sense at all, but instead the neurological merging of two existing senses. That phenomena actually does exist, and is called synesthesia. Upon stimulation of one neurological pathway, synesthesics experience the event as though another neurological pathway has also been activated. It is essentially the cross-wiring of senses.
Well, I have grapheme synesthesia, which means that every single letter, number, day of the week, and month is color-coded, and each single letter and number and day of the week and month has its own unique color. And so whenever I hear somebody talk, whenever I'm talking, whenever I am even reading words off of a page, I can't separate the letters from the color. So A is always going to be magenta, for instance. D is always going to be green. I, black. O, a shade of like white, and S is kind of a yellow.
Some synesthesics are born, while others may begin experiencing synesthesia following a traumatic experience or ingestion of a psychoactive substance. Interestingly enough, people also claim to experience psychic phenomena either beginning at birth or following exposure to the same triggers that may induce synesthesia. What's more, there seems to be a high prevalence of synesthesics among those claiming to possess atypical senses or capabilities, like healers and psychics.
Exactly is a psychic anyway, and how do we define such extrasensory perception? Is it the ability to read minds, or just the ability to read people? Some skeptics claim that the personal information and predictions gleaned by psychics is not a result of some extrasensory power, but a result of finely tuned interpersonal skills and emotional intelligence. Some research involving synesthetes, however, suggests that the two are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Consider the case of Esteban Sanchez Casas, the Grandin healer known as El Santon de Baza. El Santon is well known among locals for his paranormal healing powers and ability to read auras, but drew international attention following the release of a 2012 article in the journal Consciousness and Cognition. According to researchers, Casa has both mirror touch and face color synesthesia. For individuals with mirror touch synesthesia, watching another person being touched activates a similar neural circuit to actual touch and can produce a felt tactile sensation in their own body. What's more, research has shown that mirror touch synesthetes, like El Santon, are significantly more empathetic and socially in tune, making them far better at reading emotions and gauging pain than the ordinary person. Perhaps even more peculiar is the phenomenon of face color synesthesia. As implied, face color synesthetes associate faces and people with different aura-like orbs of color. It's easy to see how an individual with these abilities and experiences may come to believe that they possess extrasensory powers. As researchers learn more and more about synesthetes' perception, the parallels between synesthesia and ESP continue to surface. For the vast majority of synesthetes, their intersensual experiences are present from birth, but that is not proven that this is always the case. There is a possibility that synesthesia can be learned.
One young man with Asperger's, named TK in his case study, was taught by his parents to associate emotions with colors so that he might be able to understand the emotions of others better. He started to see these emotion colors as halos of colored light around people. He usually associates each person he knows with one color. New people are blue until he develops particular emotions towards them, and then their colors change. The man in question was in an experiment with a female friend of his. She was asked to stand in front of a white screen. Her halo stood out about 4 to 5 degrees from her body. A line was drawn around her outside of the halo. The young man said he saw the halo grow to reach the border and then stop exactly there. The color also intensified somewhat. When a small bit of the line was erased, the halo color leaked out of the hole.
Despite recent investigations into synesthesia and psychic phenomena, a number of questions remain unanswered. Some are skeptical of the research itself, calling into question the conclusions drawn by scientists. The researchers who cited the case of El Santon de Baza was met with doubt by another team, and a critique was later published in the same journal.
I personally would never confuse it with the sixth sense by any means. I think it's just like a weird way that I personally learned the alphabet, maybe. I mean, I don't really have an explanation for it because the colors really have no pattern, and I have kind of odd colors, like I said, beige. That's not like a common primary color or anything.
Even if synesthesia can shed light on psi experiences and anomalous cognition, it does not provide an expansive explanation for the paranormal. These answers may or may not be out there, but if they are, cognitive science may just be the best way to find out.
I see colors and hear them.